Hello and welcome to Players Guild Dragon Brawlers! My name is Loki, I'm the archivist of our lovely Players Guild, and I'm joined by no one else but our Grand Guildmaster,
Just,
Scott.
we're just joined by no one else. All right, cool. Fuck me, I guess. Well, today we're talking about Universe 3. We've got the Pepperoni leader, which goes into the robots and then into Analyzer Z leader. Well, no. We'll talk about it. But the one thing with this series we've been doing is asking, is it good? And we're going to answer that question today. So let's break it down, starting with the leader front of Pepperoni. He's a Universe 3, no longer got the alien tags. I guess there's a reason why, but it's still annoying to me as someone who really likes theme that the other Universe 3 cards have alien, and then they've removed it for this so it doesn't synergize with the red alien strategy. So
At the same
that's the
time,
one thing.
I think they removed the alien tag from U6 in blue and yellow.
It's just frustrating. Just frustrating. When this card attacks, draw a card. When your life is at 4 or less, or one or more Koitsukai, Panchia, and Bolerator cards are all red, are in your Z energy, battle area, and or drop. Draw a card, switch one energy to active, and then go down to 6 if you're at 6 or 7 or more. Um, yeah, I think it's pretty standard. It's a when it attacks draw. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, 3 cards in the Z energy, battle area, or drop. Pretty easy to attain.
I mean, you can do it turn 1. It's one of the
Yeah,
very few leaders that can actually awaken turn 1. Because you
yeah,
you go second, you charge 1, you go to attack, you combo 1, and then you play a 1 drop and you're done.
yeah, exactly right. So, yeah, that's a very valid point.
And then you get those 3 cards that you spent on getting this done, because you get 2 cards from life and you draw 1 and then tap 1.
Yeah, so pretty decent. So then we awaken into Warriors of Universe 3 united as one, which is it's Warriors of Universe 3, right? So it's not any of these individual characters. Um,
Yes.
when this card attacks, look at top 5 cards of your deck, add a red Universe 3 card among them to your hand, shuffle your deck. That's fine. It's not the best searching effect on a swing we've ever seen, but it's not the worst.
I mean, this is an effect we usually see on front of the leader, and then it awakens and gets draw 1. This time we see
Yeah,
the reverse.
yeah. And then we have the activate main of 1 red. If your life is 3 or less, if your life is 3 or less, you have 4 or more energy. Send 1 Koitsukai card, 1 Panchia card, and 1 Bolerator card, all red from your drop to your warp. Play up to 1 red Koitsukai and with an energy cost of 4 from your deck or drop. Shuffle your deck if you look through it, and negate the skill for the game. So it's a one-time use. It can play a 4 drop for 1. It's
Yes.
a decent effect because the chances are you are going to have these cards in your drop because there's multiple versions of them in the deck.
Yeah.
Um, it does specify red, so this is really like trying to lock you out of that black synergy. So like the good Koitsukai that we have that's in the
Yeah.
drop and goes to the warp, like you can't just cheese that, for example.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
like
an
the
okay leader effect.
I like the fact that it plays from deck or drop.
Yeah,
Especially, it's a card that's very important to the strategy. We're going to go over that because I think they show it in the first spoiler
mm.
part. Um, it is interesting, but it also feels very. As we're going to go through the cards, you're going to hear me say this a lot, and it's going to be I've seen this before.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think it's valid. So what's up next then?
So next one is the super rare Anilaza Universe Freeze Ultimate Weapon. So 8 drop, 4 specified red, 25,000 power, so quite low power. Triple attack, X evolve, limit 1, so you can only do it once per turn. Pay 3 red. If your leader is a red universe free card and your opponent has 3 or more energy, you evolve on top of red Koichiarator with original power 15,000 or more. Okay, so for starters, the activate main on the awakened leader requires you to have 4 energy. This one requires your opponent to have 3 or more energy. It is weird, but this is the first, I think, evolve card that evolves on top of a different character. We had the Awaken, which was Gotenks Adolescence on top of Gotenks.
Yeah.
But I don't think we had an evolve.
Yeah, if you guys know of another example of this, please let us know in the comments below. But I think you might be right. Maybe. Because Boo is just Boo, right? So
It's always Magic Boo.
You could be semantics and be like, well, Boo-han's technically not.
No, but it doesn't evolve. It union absorbs.
You're right. No, you're right. You are right there.
Because I was thinking that this should be evolved, but no, I think
it's interesting. It's very interesting. So please do, if you guys know of any other instance of this, let us know. So then it also has the permanent of while red Koichirato card is under this card can set battle cards inactive. I really like seeing the return to this. It's such a red effect. It's one of my favorite things Red used to do. Then they kind of got into the minusing, then they went into a bit of burn, and then they kind of got lost in the shuffle, and then they became stupidly overpowered. So
I do like this effect. It's very nice and simple, and yeah, it does what's on the tin, isn't it?
Yeah, and then auto limit 1. If your leader is a red universe free card and your opponent has 4 or more life, when this card attacks an opponent's battle card, deal 1 damage to your opponent. I actually really like this.
So you can bring them down to 3 life.
Yeah, and then you can then swing in to somewhere else if you want. Also, question.
Answer.
And I feel like I know the answer, but so I swing, you block, do you take the damage?
Ooh.
Because blocks an auto. So they both go into pending, and now your target is.
So the auto is going to go on to the pending, I think. Yes, it's auto is always going to go on the pending on the first attack because there is no requirement in the cost for the auto to go into pending. So it's not in the cost that it needs to attack the battle card. If your first attack is to the leader, and your opponent doesn't block, then you don't get the effect.
Yeah, no. Well, that's
and the effect is used up for the turn.
Oh, so it's on the first attack.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my understanding, unless there is a different, Dragon Ball works sometimes a bit differently than it's written. But this is my understanding of how this works at the moment.
But yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. But I like it. It's a fine SR. I don't think it's amazing. I want to use it because I like when we see these fringe burn cards, especially in red. Especially in red from the Universal Survival Saga, I really like seeing the burn cards.
But you see, we do get to see the burn, but then there's no finisher. Because this card has triple attack, not triple strike.
Yeah.
You don't have that finish.
Yeah, you punch, so you swing in, they go down to 3. So then you've got 2 more attacks with this. So ideally, there's 1 more attack from somewhere.
Yeah, but even then, you want to put your opponent into some breakpoint. So we should be expecting to see a triple attacker for this deck, right? Not triple attacker, triple striker.
Yeah, you would hope. So then we go into
Koichirator, Plan X activation, which is our first Koichirator.
With 15k or more, that's important.
Yes, and it's a 4-drop, so it can be played with the leader.
Also has deflect.
It has deflect, and auto when it's played, play up to 1 red universe free card with cost of 1 from your hand or drop in rest mode.
I actually really like this.
Doesn't negate the skills.
No, exactly, and I like how it can be from hand or drop.
Yeah.
Like the rest mode, it's fine, whatever. But yeah, I think this is a really nice, and I don't think it's getting enough credit. Like, I think it is quite a cool setup.
It is. It's cool extension.
Yes. Yeah. And then 2 for 1. It's literally a 2 for 1 that actually can go into more than that.
Yeah. So then activate main, limit 1, pay 1 red if your leader is a red universe free card and there are 1 or more Koitsukai Pancha and Bolara Bollerator cards, all red, in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and drop. And your opponent has 2 or more energy, so again, depending on your opponent. Play this card from your hand, and place up to 1 red universe free card with cost 3 or less from your drop under this card. Okay, so you get to put 1 from the drop underneath, and you get to play 1 from the drop.
Yeah.
Okay. It is played from hand.
Yeah.
Quite an easy play. With a deflect, you will always get to resurrect something.
Yeah, I think it's nice little. Also, this opens up the 1-drop red universe free support in future. Like, this is something not to discount, right? Because if they want to go, let's go with a Catapesla or so, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because we haven't seen any Catapesla, have we?
Exactly, right.
We still need Catapesla leader.
We do. That Bandai, come on, what are you doing? Like, it's a fan favorite deck.
And then you go into Z leaders that keep on changing forms, like you did with Super 17.
Yeah, genuinely, I think that's a really solid shout. Hopefully, it happens. But yeah, I think this card actually really solid. I really like it. It doesn't do anything too amazing. It's just a 15k swing, but it's all about that setup, which is what this deck's going for.
Yes, but it sets up to do what?
Yes.
Okay, moving on for now. We're going to go into 3 cards that are exactly the same, just the names change.
Okie dokie, run us through it.
So it's Koitsukai, Warrior of Universe 3, Pancha, Warrior of Universe 3, and Bollerator, Warrior of Universe 3. Oh, they have this small difference. Pancha and Bollerator have a permanent, whereas Koitsukai has Union Absorb. It's the only difference. But what I want to concentrate on is the auto. So I'm going to start with the auto first. Auto limit 1. If your leader is a red Universe 3 card, when this card is played from your hand, add up to 1 Pancha or Bollerator card red with cost of 1 from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. And Pancha searches Koitsukai or Bollerator, Bollerator searches Pancha or Koitsukai.
Yeah, important to note, Koits is limit 1, the other 2 are not limit 1.
Yes. But all of them are played from hand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to understand why specifically Koitsukai is limit 1. Why is this specific one that's a limit 1?
I don't know. Can't answer that.
Okay. Then it has also Koitsukai has a Union Absorb, limit 1, pay 1 red. If your leader is red Universe 3 card, and you choose 1 Pancha and Bollerator card, both red, from your hand, battle area, and or drop, and place them under this card. Play 1 Koichiarator card with cost 4 from your deck, or drop on top of this card and shuffle your deck if you looked through it. That's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the general idea is to play the Koichiarator we've just seen from hand with its effect.
Mm-hmm.
Resurrect Koitsukai and then use Koitsukai Union Absorb to play a second Koichiarator.
Yeah.
Because Koichiarator does not have limit 1 on his auto to resurrect.
Correct. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, but beside that, though, I've seen this before. And I was reading those cards first time, and that was my reaction, and you've heard my reaction to that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and explain to people.
This is essentially a rehashed idea of what General Rildo was doing. And General Rildo was doing it in a very fun way.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun when it was done the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They revamped General Rildo, they kept the general idea, they kept the playability of the old gadgets. They're named after the Yu-Gi-Oh, but they kept all of that from the set 3 when they revamped it. I don't understand why they decided to do it exactly the same mechanic, pretty much.
I mean, there is the benefit here that they've got for the power absorb thing, where it's like, oh, if this card is under it, your thing above gets bonuses.
Yes.
So like there is that, but yeah, I actually fundamentally agree with you here. It does feel like, oh, we've got red robots, let's just do what we did with the red robots kind of thing. I'm not saying they're being lazy in that design. I think it kind of makes, like, there is I can see a world view where you get that and you can go, oh, okay, that makes sense. But as something that you compare it to the rest of the set, it does feel a bit like, oh, but you've done all of these cool things for the other colors, and this feels like it's something you've done before, and it's a bit, it's a bit weird.
My thinking is that it's actually the other way around. They looked at this, it's robots that absorb. Which color can we put them in? And they said, oh, we already had this in red, so let's put it in red. We have a mechanic that works for it. The problem is that they did not give this enough of a flair for me.
No, I think that's fair. I genuinely think that's fair. I can't fault anyone for having
this
that
feels a bit like a watered down version of Raildo.
Yeah, I can't fault you on that. Again, I think it's a very valid opinion to have. I don't personally feel that way because I feel like Rildo was a lot more involved with Rildo and stuff. Like this feels like this feels like it's its own thing to me, but I definitely can understand and will see the similarities. Like I can't fault anyone for thinking that. Next up we have
Let's just talk quickly about the permanents.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
On the Pancha and Ebolerator, both have the same. If they're, as long as they're under Anilaza or Koichiarator, both red and in your battle area, the card above it gets 5,000 power. So if you have both underneath, it's plus 10k power. So Anilaza becomes 35k, which is respectable. Koichiarator becomes 25k again,
which is respectable. It's decent.
It's respectable for what they cost. The problem is that Anilaza has attack battle cards in active and triple attack. Koichiarator has deflect.
Yeah.
And that's all they have.
Fair. I mean, it's a 25k swing to try and pitch someone down, I guess.
But, you know.
Yeah, it's not anything to write home about.
And then we have Paparoni, the Brains of Universe 3. Which is another 1-drop.
Yeah, so he has deflect as well, which is nice. Auto, when it's card played from hand, it's a cantrip, it's a draw 1.
That's again from hand.
True, yeah. Like they've been very careful not to be able to loop the.
But they gave the resurrection effect for a 1-drop.
Yeah. Activate main. I think they're just trying to encourage doing it from hand. Activate main. Limit 1. If your leader is a red universe free card and you have 4 or more energy, and you choose 1 red Koichirata card in your battle area and place it underneath this Paparoni, draw 1 card and play up to 1 red Analyzer card from your hand on top of this card in active mode. So I actually do kind of like that.
It is... I'm trying to think of it. It makes sense because you don't evolve on top of a Koichiarator, which means you can attack with it first.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go Paparoni. Question I have, because I actually don't remember this off the top of my head, and I should have probably checked before we started the video, is when you move a card with cards underneath it, underneath another card, so it's not that you evolve on top, because then I know the cards underneath stay. But if you have, let's say, Koichiarator with 3 cards underneath it, and you move it under Paparoni, do those cards stay underneath?
That's a good question that I don't have the answer for. Another one for the comments section.
Because as far as I remember, they don't.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do. All you need is the Koichirata underneath it.
Yeah, no, it works well with the leader.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to lose the extra power boost.
Yeah, it costs you 3 energy. No, that doesn't even cost you 3 energy, right? Because you play with the leader, you play the Koichirata, resurrect Paparoni, and use the effect. It costs you 2 energy to do this.
Yeah.
You do need to have Anilaza in hand.
Yeah. But it's what's it called? I think it's. Is it restricted to red Anilaza?
Red Anilaza card from your hand on top. Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Wasn't there another red Anilaza in the past?
No, it was green. That's the one I was
Green.
thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, green and black.
Okay. The black one is banned, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. The black one is. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, the SR.
Yeah, it is, because all of them that played from the drop are banned.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually think this is probably the best card we've seen so far. I think it's really good. Well, alongside the SR.
Yeah.
I really like this card. I think it's invaluable piece that actually really makes this deck work. Because this wasn't revealed alongside the other, so when we first saw the strategy, it was like, oh, this feels real bad. But then this is like, oh, this makes it come together quite a lot better than it did.
I think it is from the same one. Yeah, it's the first batch.
Yeah, they added it in after the fact, though.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
This was not here when they were originally revealed. This
I
is the
see.
thing about doing this after the fact. So yeah, next up we have.
And Ilaza Dimension Bender, so it's our Z battle card for the deck.
It's not a Z leader. I don't get why it's not a Z leader.
I mean, it was walking towards it, wasn't it?
Like, to me, it makes sense, right? You got Pepperoni. Pepperoni fuses the guys together, and
Yeah.
then once they're a robot, they go into Analyzer. And every deck in this thing has had a Z leader,
Yes. Beside red.
except this.
Does the U7 have a Z leader?
That's a good question. We'll talk about that when we review
I don't
the
think they
U7
do,
card.
but never mind.
Oh, that would be kind of weird. Like, like all of
I
the
think it's
characters.
because it's the two universes, Universe 3 versus Universe 7.
Yeah.
Because both of those leaders are warriors of Universe, so it's not one character.
Yeah, that's true. You can't really evolve an entire warrior.
I mean, it works with Universe 3, because all of them pretty much merged into Anilaza.
Did Pepperoni merge with him? I think
Yes.
Pepperoni does merge as well, right? Because he uses the
Yes.
glowy stick. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, so it still doesn't make sense. No. I'm right on
And
this one.
There's
Why is
no,
there a
and there's no
Z-leader?
Catopesla on the leader, which means Catopesla is
Yeah,
not
there's no
involved.
Z-leader. What the? I'm still very confused, and it annoys
Z-leader
me.
coming in Anniversary box.
You took my alien, and now you take a Z-leader from me.
It's coming in
But anyway,
Anniversary
let's
box.
talk about the Z battle card. Analyzer Dimension Bender, 4 cost, 4 specified red, 3 Z energy, deflect, double strike. When this card is played, draw up to 1 card. Draw 1 card, place up to 1 Pepperoni card, 1 Koitsukai, and 1 Panchia card, and 1 Bolerator, all red from your battle area, and/or drop under this card, and this card gains barrier for the turn. I really like this effect.
That's
I think
really
it's
nice,
solid. Yeah. Or once per turn, when this card attacks, for every 2 cards under this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it gets minus 30k. So I've seen some confusion around this. This is, you can't choose the same card multiple times,
No.
but for every 2 cards underneath, you can choose a different card.
So you can choose 2 targets
Yes.
with the
you
basic
can't-
effect.
Yeah, you can't go, I
2
swing,
different
I've got 4
targets,
cards, I man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Um,
copying the same effect multiple times on the card. It's like choose up to 1 if you have 2 or 3. Choose up to 2 if you have 4 or 5, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, yeah, there you go. That's all the clarification you need. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Activate main once per turn, unless Bandai changed the man. Activate main once per turn, place up to 1 red Universe free card from your hand under this card. Additionally, if there are 6 or more cards under this card gains dual attack. So this, I think, is a nicer finisher, right? Because you
This
swing
is the finisher.
down. Yeah, and I actually really like this card. I think the ability to gain dual attack is very scary. The minusing power is really nice. Like, we saw how powerful that Red Sin was, where it could come in. Obviously, it's not coming in for quite as cheap,
Yeah, it's
but I
not
think
one
it's a
energy.
really good, solid. I bring this guy out. I can get extra boosts, right? Because it's still an analyzer. So if your cards are underneath it, you can make it a 35. Double strike,
Yeah.
which
Oh, I need
that's
to quickly
definitely
check
not-
something.
Yeah.
On the Panchia. Ooh, okay, now that's a fair shout that Panchia and Bolerator increase the power during both plays turn.
Hmm.
So it's not only during your turn, so if you have both of them underneath it, this is 35k.
yeah,
Both players turns.
and that's pretty much guaranteed every time you slam this on the field.
Yeah. So
I
it's
also
numbered
like how
down,
it draws you a card as well, right? Like, so
and it has barrier for the protection, then you use the activate main, put another card, so you do know on the second attack of this, it's going to have A, dual attack, and B, it's going to be minusing up to 3 targets. Because the turn you play
Yeah.
it,
yeah, you're right.
you
Because
put
if
one
there's 6
card.
cards underneath, yeah,
and then it has barrier, so it is pretty protected, and it's a 35k body. And then the next turn, you put another card underneath, and you get to attack twice, with up to 45,000 at that point if you put another Bolerator and or Panchia on those 2 adds. Yeah, this seems like a finisher if you draw the correct cards in the correct order.
Yeah, and I think the deck kind of has a nice way of working to it. As we've said, it's got the gadget engine,
Yeah.
it's got the leader that will search all of your deck because you will just be playing tribal U3 with maybe a bit of splash into some other tech choices for red. I really like the Z battle card. I think this is a great use of the Z deck. Without restricting it too much, there's ways of getting out into it. So yeah, this gets a thumbs up from me. I really like this card.
The only problem I have with this card, there's one problem I have with this card.
It doesn't have a combo cost. Unacceptable.
It costs 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think because we haven't seen the Z stack for this yet, I think we're seeing a Z stack on the next card because I already looked at
Koichi out.
Koichi Arator. Yeah, there we go. And it does have a Z stack one, so I think there's a way to cheat it out, which is fine for me. It is fine for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's to stop people just going, "I'm gonna drop this bomb on you," because it's not really restricted.
Yeah, true.
Like you just have to have the red universe free cards there.
Yeah. Okay, 2 drop, 2 specified red, and 2 ZNG for the Koichi Arator, the Masterwork, 20,000 power. So you can technically absorb him as well, right? 15. No, evolve on top of him. Sorry, it's 15,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you can absorb, but you can definitely evolve on top.
Yeah. Unique Z stack 1 for the red and laser we've just seen. Auto, when this card is played, choose one Koitsukai Panchia Bolerator from your hand, battle area, and or drop, and place them under this card. And this card gains barrier. So it's the same effect, just for the 3 things. Anilaza gets another thing. Because it gets pepperoni.
This barrier lasts until the end of your opponent's next turn.
Yeah.
Anilaza is only for your turn.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, so it does. Never mind. Activate main, limit 1. Pay 2 red, place 3 cards from under this card in their owner's drops, and place 1 pepperoni card from your hand or battle area in its owner drop. Play Anilaza Z battle from under this card, and place this card under the played card. So that actually answered one of my questions.
How do you get it underneath if it's using an activate?
No. I knew there's going to be something like that, but you can actually move the Z battle cards underneath something else.
Yeah, because it's.
So you can union absorb them.
Oh, okay.
Because you can put the card underneath it.
Interesting. I would say it's only because of this skill that lets you do that, but then yeah.
But if this skill lets you do that, that means that it is mechanically
possible. Then Union Absorb would let you do that, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, I could see that.
Because we have seen that you play the card from underneath on top. But in this situation, no. It's just play this card, play that card, and then place this. Which means you get 6 materials on first turn on that Anilaza. Because you put Koichi Arator, you have 4 from the skill and 1 from its activate main. So you do get dual attack, double strike pretty much immediately.
Yeah, and this one, if you just don't have the energy to go into it, right? So that's why it has the barrier till the next turn, so they can't just spot remove it without ignoring barrier, but then removal anyway. Like if they have it, they have it. You can't really do much about that.
Yeah.
But like at least it has a fighting chance. So you can go, okay, I bring this guy out. Okay.
It's quite interesting.
Next turn, I go into my boss monster.
This is quite interesting. I quite like it.
Yeah. You also have the option, right? If you've got that red analyzer in hand, you can also go on top.
Yeah.
So, plenty of options. Then we've got Koitsukai Team Attacker.
Yes.
Yes. Free drop, 1 red, 10k, permanent. For each universe free card in your energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it can become a 1 drop in your hand. In your hand. Auto, limit 1. When this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 red universe free card among them. Shuffle your deck. When this card is placed from your hand or drop under your analyzer or Koichi Writer, both red, in your battle area, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards to get minus 10k for the turn. Interesting.
Okay, so that's the way that... So I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen the second half of the reveals. So that's how they decided to make it different. You give the effects when you absorb.
Yeah.
which is fine. It's a very nice tutor. I'll give it that. That it's a way better tutor.
Spoilers, they all minus 10k, by the way. They don't change based on piece.
Oh, okay.
They have different things, but
I mean that minus 10k is alright. It's a red thing, isn't it? I guess it's supposed to help with that Anilaza.
yeah, right. You
That's an
weaken
attack
something
actives.
to punch into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see this. Yeah.
So then we have Panchea,
Yeah. Panchea
which
with
is
draw a card.
basically the same thing, except when it's played, you draw one. But that's also limit one, which is I feel like that's a bit excessive.
Yeah, they only reduce the cost in your hand, right?
Yeah.
So weird. Okay.
And then
And the
Bolerator is
Bolerator-
actually counter attack, so negate the attack, play this card, and it gains blocker. So remember, it doesn't matter if these guys go to the drop. Like, so this is a 2-for-1. That's essentially just a 1-drop negate.
Yeah, that counter attack is limit 1, but
Yeah, but you can trade 2 attacks from it. I think it's really good.
yeah. Definitely feels a bit off that the 1-drops don't search when played from the drop. Because you have only one way to play something from the drop, is that 4-drop. And you have so many different engine pieces, and most of the time you're going to be grabbing another 1-drop so you can keep on the chain going. But at some point you want to be able to grab your other pieces. It feels like... Oh god, it feels a bit like the Trunks Jita engine, but made purposefully worse. Because Trunks Jita lets you draw a card every time you attack there.
Yeah, I see that. Next up we have Nariyama, which is a super combo, but nevertheless nice to see Nariyama get some love.
Yeah,
he's actually missing one of his little antennae in this one, which is cute.
Viara.
You know what? I'm cool with a Viara skill list. Like,
it's fine.
Underrepresented characters. It's cool.
We've never seen this character do much.
No. But it's cool to see that they, hey, they exist.
It's like Dr. Rota. We have never seen him do anything.
No, but he was very powerful in this game. That 1-drop blocker. Pepperoni's Tactical Orders is a 1-drop extra card. Activate made if your leader is a universe-free red card. Choose up to 1 Analyzer or Koichirata buff red in your battle area and place up to 2 red universe-free cards with an edge cost of 3 or less from your drop under the chosen card. So another way to get those cards underneath if you need it.
Why? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very interesting concept. But then... I guess that Z battle card can essentially become a board wipe for anything that's not a 35k or more. No, even then you just put in something that is going to be doing minus 10k.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can minus so many different things.
Yeah, I think there's an explosive turn in here. But
okay.
Does it answer the question of whether is it good or not? Honest opinions, I think it's probably the weakest of the decks we've seen. Yes. I see potential, and I think the Analyzer, Z Battle, and the SR really saved this deck alongside the 1-drop Pepperoni. But for me, it's just yeah, like I said, like if I'm gonna play a deck, I relate more to the Rildo theme, and this doesn't give me any real reason not to. Like I'm expecting Rildo will get some Z support at some point, and that's the deck I'd play. This can be saved though, because I actually think it's a good starting point for Universe 3 in red. And if they continue to expand upon this, I'm on board for it.
I think the Z leader is what the deck needs. I think we might see something just on the back of strength of red as a color, and on the fact that it's a very simple deck. I think on the back of the simplicity and the small amount of engine pieces, we might see this do something.
I mean, I hope so, right? I always, when we come into this and we say something's not great, I hope to be proven wrong. Because I don't want people to get cards that are just objectively bad. And I don't think these are objectively bad.
I think it's... Okay, so design-wise, it strikes me like it's a real doll.
Yeah, which I think
But
is a fair comparison. I don't think you can argue that.
playability, it does have that combo with the like. Don't get me wrong, I do love the design of the 8-drop Anilaza,
Hmm.
but as far as the playability goes, that Z battle card is so much better.
Agreed. I
And
definitely
that's an
agree. And
actual boss monster. That's interesting because that's an actual boss monster in my eyes for this deck,
mhm.
and that boss monster is only a rare.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't want to give
It's
a
fine.
DS.
I
I don't know.
think
It's weird. I am curious. The artwork, the artworks, the rarities on Z cards, Z deck cards are very strange. Like there's a
yes.
few SRs, but they rarely do it. And I don't know. I wonder if I don't know. I wonder. Just wonder. But yeah. So I guess we're both a bit mixed on this deck. I can't even really say it's going to be a great untapped potential deck either.
No,
Which
because
is
it's
a real
against the
shame.
Invoker.
Yeah, because of the matchup. But let us know. Are we wrong? Do you have a different outlook on it? Do you think that there's some potential here?
Do you have
Do
a
you
deck
agree
list
with
for it?
me in terms of that? If there's more universe free to come in red, then it's exciting. Because it's, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the point of this, right? It's a universe free leader. It's not a. I mean, it is because it does have the activate main, but it is very much designed. The leader I'm talking about here specifically. For universe free, and I think that openness will allow it to thrive if they decide to continue support for it. That's my hope anyway. Copium, call it copium if you want.
Um,
But let's got any final thoughts, Lucky?
I, mm, I think what might have happened is Red was severely undertuned due to the Sin Shenron and Gogeta. Those two decks were very, very dominant in Red. And I
I
think
I mean,
they might be looking at undertuning Red for a while to give other colors
yeah,
something.
I would say I kind of agree, but Blue's been doing more damage to the meta than Red. Red's still
Yeah, they got
strong.
21. But 21, I think, is a licensing agreement.
No. I like Crimson Coup, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
that,
I know. But it's also
and
the
then
same.
Beerus as well. Like,
At that point, it's Beerus was not that problematic. It was just a counter to the given meta.
eh.
Crimson Coup I can understand, but again, this set was already designed when Crimson Coup was doing its damage.
Yeah, so let us know, guys. Let us know in the comments below if you have a differing opinion or you agree with us. Like what characters do you want to see from Universe 3? Would you like to see Koitsukai get implemented into a deck like this? I know I
Catapesla.
would, but I also want Koitsukai to be its own thing because it's great.
Catapesla.
Um, and yeah, I just said Koitsukai like twice. Yeah, I realized what I did. Don't worry. I know
Catapesla.
characters. I know characters. Koitsukai is the best character.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.